staying connected with our clients via social media. Okay, so I could literally talk for about 4 hours on each platform, and we've only got 1 hour today. So I've really had to kind of just introduce a bit of a reintroduction into the importance of each platform and the strengths and weaknesses of each platform, and some content ideas, where to get free images and that kind of stuff. But like I said, there's a lot of content, and the thing with social media, as you would know, it's changing so quickly, right? Not just the platform itself, but there's always new platforms being introduced. So we have to be mindful not to spread ourselves too thin in terms of where we're actually trying to promote ourselves. I think it's quality over quantity. You know, I do see some businesses that try and be on every single platform, which is great, but you do need a marketing kind of team behind you to do that. So, oh, what's happened here? So today we're going to talk about the importance of social media, latest trends, the difference between Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn, how to attract your ideal client, most popular content to share, where to find free images, best times to post and hashtags. Okay, so they're really kind of what we're going to touch on today. And then obviously if you do need more assistance or anything like that, you're more than welcome to book in for a consultation. I've personally consulted over 2,000 businesses myself. So I've worked with startups all the way through to ASX listed companies. So I do have a good understanding of lots of different industries and can definitely assist you in more detail. So the importance of social media, I think now more than ever, thanks to COVID, we're really seeing people's attention is here and here, right? So this is where people's attention is. Therefore, we need to be where our consumers' attention is. Okay, there's no point us doing something and going, God, we really hope people see this. We need to be super clear who is our target market, who is our demographic, where do they hang out, and how do we get in front of them? It's really that straightforward, right? But when we get in front of them, we need to have a clear enough messaging. I always say, every successful business is a solution to someone's problem. What problems are we solving for our customer? Right? What are the problems, and how can we show them that we are the person they need to be choosing for that job at hand? So like you said, Pierre, it's, you know, you give people, like people can hire CFOs, right? A lot of problems, time, money would be a big one. Instead of paying $250,000 a year for a CFO, they might be paying a quarter or a third of that, right? So you're saving them money. You're saving them the time of having to go and recruit someone. So we really need to identify what solutions are we providing to our customers and be able to create strategic messaging on our socials that is going to inform them of that. Okay, so my criteria when it comes to social media marketing and what kind of content we need to be sharing, 80% of the content we share needs to be educational, inspirational, conversational, and 20% is promotional, such as get in touch with us today, right? Now, why do I say educational, inspirational, conversational? The reason is by sharing educational content, you become the educator. And by becoming the educator, you become the authority. And by becoming the authority, you become the go-to person in your industry. All right. So, you know, there's going to be, I'm going to share with you different content ideas, but that's what we need to do. We need to become the authority. So when someone thinks CFO, when someone thinks marketing, when someone thinks, you know, flowers, when someone thinks real estate, whatever your business is, I want you to become the person that they think of. And the only way you will become that person is for two things. A, you share enough advice and knowledge around that subject. And B, you're consistent with your messaging, right? Because the thing is, today more than ever, our minds are used to seeing so much stuff that if we're not on top of people's mind all the time, they forget, right? How many times do you get a message or an email or something, you go, oh my God, I've been meaning to do that. Right? Because we're so over bombarded with content left, right, and center that our mind needs to constantly be stimulated. Therefore, it's important to stay on top of people's mind. And how do we do that? Social media marketing, newsletters, and all the rest. So it's not about annoying people. It's not about, you know, getting in people's face, but it's about creating a consistency with your branding. So why is social media important? You know, obviously this is where people's attention is today, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I don't know if you've got on your phone, but there's a thing where you can see how much time you're spending on your phone a day. On average, people are spending about 3 hours a day, minimum, on average, I should say, on their phones, right? So 3 hours, that's in messaging, Googling, and scrolling on social media. So you've got quite a bit of time there to be able to be capturing your demographic. You increase your brand awareness. That's what it's about. It's about increasing your brand. Customer loyalty, right? So when people can, when people are seeing your socials and, you can share testimonials and things like that, it's showcasing your customer loyalty. Increasing traffic to your website. Now, website, a lot of social media actually supports your SEO ranking as well. So if you're utilizing the right keywords in your social media, that's going to help you rank higher on Google. So if I type in CFO Perth or marketing Perth or whatever your industry is Perth, then if you've got enough keywords and enough SEO optimization, you will be highly ranked on your Google rankings, right? So this is why social media is very important. And also marketplace awareness, right? We want people to know who we are. We want people to think of us when they think of our industry. Okay, so these are some of the latest trends in social media I'm going to share with you. It's called, sorry if I don't pronounce it right, ephemeral content. What that means, it's stories. Stories are where it's at right now. People want things, like I said earlier, it's like people's attention span is so low today that they just want to see things quickly. That's why Instagram, Facebook and LinkedIn recently have all brought in stories where you can actually upload stories and they last for they'd last for 24 hours. Okay, so that's what you want to do. You want to try and have stories going where it's showing people behind the scenes of your organization and all that kind of stuff. Live streaming is really, really good. Now, I know one of the biggest things, and I'm a part of this, I do a lot of public speaking, I've done a lot of videos, but I still get a bit like, oh, I don't know if I want to do a live video. But it is very, very, very beneficial. So if you can start doing some more videos and live streaming and things like that, you will notice there will be a lot higher interaction with your posts that you do, opposed to just, posting once a month and being like, oh, it's so funny how many clients say to me, Sandra, social media doesn't work for me. And I say, well, how often do you post? How often do you interact? How often are you on there? And they're like, oh, maybe once a month. I'm like, you got your answer. Everything works if you put the work into it, period. Everything, right? So it's just, it's about being consistent. And this applies to every element of our life and our business and everything. If you're consistent, you will get the results, 100%. And I speak about this so passionately because I've seen it work for me. I would say about 30% of my leads for my business come through LinkedIn. So I wouldn't be a big advocate of social media if I didn't actually see the results firsthand. So the difference between Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. So obviously Facebook and Instagram are a little bit more consumer driven, so business to consumer. So depending on your business, whether it's product or services, it's a lot more of a consumer driven marketplace, whereas LinkedIn is more business to business. And it was funny, I was scrolling LinkedIn yesterday and someone put on their LinkedIn, let's start treating LinkedIn more H to H rather than B to B, so human to human rather than business to business. I actually really liked that. I thought that's really nice because, we do get in a bit of a different mindset when we're thinking business to business. We get a little bit all corporate-y. So I quite liked the fact that it was like human to human. At the end of the day, people buy people before people buy things. So how can we showcase that? How can we portray that on our socials? I did a workshop a few months ago about how to build your brand online, and I said the number one tip I can give you is be authentic. Just be authentic. I think we spend a lot of time being like, should we post this and shouldn't we post that? And is this the right thing to say? And but the common answer and the common sense is really just be yourself, right? That's what people will engage with. So there's a certain power behind authenticity. So I think that's really important. So how to attract our ideal client? So this is really important. And I know it sounds like, a little bit of a repeat from maybe what you've heard and seen, but it is so important that we understand our ideal client, because when we understand them, we understand their pain points, we understand their problems, and we understand what they need, right? By understanding who they are, what they want, what they need, we can really create content that appeals to them, all right? So when I say identify your client avatar, you don't want to be like, oh, male aged 20 to 50. That's way too broad. We need to say, male aged 30 to 50, this is his hobbies, this is what he likes, this is what he dislikes, these are his strengths, these are his weaknesses. So really note it down. So when you are actually writing your content, you're almost imagining that you're speaking to that person. Let's call him John Smith, right? And that's something that's really powerful when it comes to social media writing or writing in general. You know, there was a study that was, or not a study, it was an award that Warren Buffett won in 2004 for his prestigiousness and his effectiveness in writing. And he said, my secret when I write is that I write as if I'm speaking. I start with Dear Doris, right? So imagine when you write, you don't want to be like, hey, everyone. It's like, hey, you know, that one person, because you will find there will be a lot more consistency in your tone and in your writing and in your communication overall when you're very clear in your client avatar. So understand what problems you're solving, what are their pain points, create content that appeals to them and become the authority of the industry. One of the biggest misconceptions that I think a lot of business owners make is that they write for their industry, not their customer, right? So they write in their own language, they write in their own business lingo, where it's like, you need to actually understand your customer's journey. What does the customer need? And don't forget, they will have a very different vocabulary to what you do. Okay, so this is something that I see happen a lot, especially kind of in legal and accounting and IT services. They have a real tendency of writing very IT or very, you know, accounting and all the rest. So what you want to do is you want to write in a language where your customer understands you. You know, I always say complexity is the enemy of execution. The more complex something is, the less likely people are going to understand it and want to engage with you. So we need to really be able to not dumb it down, but simplify it in a way where they really want to engage your services. Okay. So the fastest way to build your market is to publish content that adds value to other people. Okay, so going back to my 80-20 rule, 80% of your content needs to be educational, inspirational, conversational, and 20% is promotional. People don't like to be sold to today. That's not what social media is about. Okay, you can definitely put in there a call to action to visit our website if you would like more information, but generally speaking, you want to be sharing content that is showcasing people the culture of your organization, the work that you've done, your happy clients, testimonials, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go into a little bit more content ideas soon, but that just gives you a bit of an idea in terms of what consumer behavior is like today. They do not like to be sold to. Okay. So these are some content ideas, because like I mentioned at the beginning, the biggest three struggles people have are time, what to post, like content, and images, right? Well, they're stuck on images and content ideas. So some content ideas to share. And I'm going to go after, I'm going to show you some of my content ideas that I've actually done. So professional expertise and experiences, testimonials, tip of the week. You can do Tuesday tip of the week. Google Alerts. If you turn your Google Alerts on, so you literally go into Google and type in Google Alerts, you can go in there and you can turn on alerts on your subject. So for example, I have social media as an alert. So at the end of every day, Google sends me a list of the top trending stories around social media. You could do the same for CFOs. You could do the same for, let me just see what the other, let me just stop this share for a second, one moment. So we've got Maggie, can I just get you all to just type in there, Gina and Maggie? I know, Pierre, what your business is, but Gina and Maggie, what are your businesses? Just so I'm making sure that I'm being able to incorporate your businesses into the webinar. Or if you like, you can talk even. I'm not sure if you're unmuted. Allowed to talk, allowed to talk. Gina, what's your business? And Maggie, if you guys can hear me. Looking to start up a fibre art business, weaving. Okay, cool. Yep, Gina, thank you. Fibre art, great. Yep, so definitely I think Instagram and Facebook are great for you. And then Maggie, if you can hear me, you can let me know as well. So I'll go back to the slideshow, but it's good for me to know the different businesses that are here. So let's start this again. Okay, great. So some more content ideas to share. We've got an article, share a blog, do a live video, interview an industry leader. So that's really good. If you've got someone that you want to interview, you can do, because a lot of the time people feel uncomfortable being on video on their own. So sometimes when you interview someone in your industry or a leader in your industry or a client potentially, that's really good content as well. Okay, we've got Maggie. Sorry, I have an old computer. I'm in a non-for-profit at the moment. Okay, yeah, I think I know, Maggie. I think you've been to some of my workshops before. And I think if I remember, that was you, but it's a non-for-profit. Okay, so user-generated content. So what do I mean by user-generated content? If you're scrolling Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn and you see something that is applicable to your business, you can reshare that, right? If you reshare that, you don't need to comment who it's from, because in the share, it will see the original source. You can do a poll, so you can ask a question on Facebook and LinkedIn. You can ask questions. So I did that about a month ago. I asked a question on LinkedIn. I said something like, how many times do you need to follow up with the client before you turn away? Right, I said 1 to 3 times, 3 to 5 times, or until they say no. And there was about 110 to 120 votes, right? So what that does, it evokes conversation, it evokes, you know, people talking and tuning in and actually, you know, increasing the algorithm of your post, if anything. You can upload a document, you can ask a question, you can tell a story, share an award you've won, a lesson you've learned in business, helpful how-to content, all that kind of stuff. So there's lots, and I'll share with you, depending on how we go with time, because I am very mindful that we've only got an hour, but depending on how we go, I'll show you guys some of my content and what I've shared and what's worked and what's not worked. Okay. This is a really good free tool as well. So before I said Google Alerts, but there's another one called Answer the Public, right? And let me show you how that works. So I'll get out of this so I can actually show you how that works. Okay, so you go onto Google, okay, and you type in your Google Answer the Public, okay, Answer the Public, and then you click on that, all right, and then this comes up, okay, and you go discover what people are asking about. So I can say CFO, Chief Financial Officer, and let's go search. Okay. Let's have a look. So what it does, this shows you what people are actually typing into Google today, the 16th of October, about CFOs or whatever, right? Chocolate, real estate, cars, marketing, you name it. Any keyword you put in there, it's going to generate. This is what people are asking. So this is a really good tool to assist you in creating content, because like I said, one of the biggest problems is, oh my God, what do I post? So let's have a look at the questions people are asking. Oh, lots of questions. How CFO can add value. Beautiful, right? So there's a question, there's a blog, there's a piece of content. What CFO stands for, what it means, will blah, blah, blah. Can CFOs be appointed as company secretary? What are CFOs' responsibilities? Why are they appointed? So we can see all these amazing questions that people are asking Google about a CFO, right? At the top, that's the questions. Then we click on prepositions. We click on that. Let's have a look. So near me, CFO for small business, CFO for growth, is CFO a director, blah, blah, blah. And then you've got here comparisons, right? So this gives you a heap of content, right? I'll use another idea here. I'm going to type in chocolate because, actually, no, let's type in, go back to that. I'm going to type in wine. Let's have a look at what people are asking me about wine. And it's on UK. So let's see, you can actually choose here Australia. So let's go in Australia. You basically go, what are people Googling about wine in Australia? Where's Australia? There it is. Great, let's have a look. Something like, you know, can you get Uber through wine or something like that? Or wine through Uber rather. Let's have a look. So, and it shows you, so you can actually go by country and all the rest. So wine, gathering the data. Let's have a look. Great, we've got 80 questions. Why wine is not vegan? How wine is made, how wine is made, when wine turns to vinegar, and all the rest, right? So it's really interesting because what this does, it shows you what people are actually searching for about any chosen topic. So it gives you a lot of content ideas, right? Because this is what people are searching for. So really, really good little tool. And like I said before, the other one was Google Alerts, right? So if you want to turn on Google Alerts, you must have a Gmail account to turn on Google Alerts. You type in Google Alerts, click on Google Alerts, and then you go here and you go, I would like to create a alert about wine, for example, and you click on, right? So then it shows you all the articles today around wine. So Italian police seize 4,000 bottles of Super Tuscan wine. Hilltop wine strike gold. So it's everything about wine that's trending. So you could type in any topic in there, right, that's relevant to your business, your industry, and you'll get articles based on that every day from Google. So it's a great resource to be able to create content. So we'll get out of that. Okay, and I'll go back to the presentation. Great. So that's a few tools. So consistency and repetition, like I mentioned before. Oh, my goodness. I was like, who's talking? There's a video in the background. So what we'll do is we've got a message here, great resources to check out. Thanks, you're most welcome. So what I'll do is I'll just ask a few questions now because we've still got half an hour and I've still got quite a few slides to get through. So is there any questions thus far that you may have that you would like to ask, because we've got half an hour. So I just want to make sure I answer any questions, because a lot of the time the questions that you may have are probably questions that other people are thinking. And if you can't say it, you can definitely type it. Yeah, correct. Pierre, good. All right, cool. Well, if you guys do have any questions, let me know. I'll finish the slides and then I'm going to show you a few of my posts that I've done and what makes a good post and what makes a bad post. So we'll go back to that. All right, let's go share screen. Make sure I go to the right screen. Great. So like I said, consistency, right? Really, really important. And one of the important things that you must do as well with your branding and your posting and your content is try and create a bit of like a theme or a template, right? So Canva, I'm not sure if anyone here has used Canva. It's a free resource that you can actually use. You can pay for premium, but it's a really great little tool that you can use to create great content for your socials, right? You can do videos. Let's have a look, I've got a message here. I just want to make sure I'm answering everyone's messages. So one moment. Oops, let me have a look. Sorry, someone's just asked a message. No questions, just looking forward to checking that answer. The public, I do use the free Canva. Great, Jen, lovely. Perfect. So, okay. So yeah, so Canva's fantastic in terms of creating consistency. So that's C-A-N-V-A for anyone that hasn't used it. And if you do need assistance with Canva, I can definitely assist you with that. But you want to make sure that you've got a consistent, think about like McDonald's, right? Or think about Coca-Cola or Nike. They always have a consistency in their branding. So you want to make sure that you do have the right colors, the right themes, the right tone of voice, and you keep it consistent across all channels. So where to find images and videos for LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram? So these are some really great tools, free. Some of them you have to pay if you want premium, but like one of the ones that I use a lot, it's called Unsplash, which here is number 6, as you can see. So if you click onto Unsplash, right, it actually takes you, and I'm going to send you guys these slides as well, so don't worry if you're trying to take photos or anything like that, because I will send you the slides. But this is a free resource, right? So if I type in here search free high resolution photos. Let's just write, I'm going to write chocolate. Let's have a look. God, I've got chocolate and wine in my mind. Maybe because it's Friday. Okay, so there we go. I've typed in chocolate. So I can use any of these photos for free, and I don't have to quote anyone. I don't have to reference anyone, nothing, right? They're there to be used for free. So you've got these stunning, beautiful photos that you can use, right? Or if you're in a business, you can type in business, right? And so let's say business or meetings. So I've got business, let's have a look. Great, you've got all these great photos that you can download for free. Okay, really, really great tools. My advice, this is what I do. I've gone onto my desktop and I've created a file and I've called it social media images. So every now and then when I've got, 5 minutes, I go and I find some great photos that I like and I upload them into the social media gallery. That way, when I'm ready to post something, I'm not scratching my head going, oh my God, what do I post today? I know I've got all these images ready in my social media gallery. So great little free resource that you can utilize for content, because like I said, one of the biggest problems people have is photos and images, and where do I find free images. You will notice a little side note tip: anytime you post something with yourself in it, it will always get higher interaction. Always, always, always. Okay, so if you post just like a static Shutterstock or a Unsplash photo, they do good. But whenever there's a photo of yourself, right, it will always get higher interaction. So my advice to you is try and organize like a photo shoot every, say, 6 to 12 months, where you're in your team, or if you're a sole trader, it's you on the job doing what you're doing. You could be having coffee, you could be having a meeting, you could be sewing, you could be cooking, whatever your business is, it doesn't matter. But that is a really important element to creating strong content, is also showcasing your face, right? People buy people, people interact with people. So I'll give you guys some examples where I've done posts with, myself in a post, just a static, Shutterstock photo, and that always get higher interaction. Okay? So how often to post on social media? Okay, so Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Now, I'm a realist. I know Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn want you to post 3,000 times a week. 7, right? They want you to post daily. But I also understand that if I say to everyone here today, post 7 times, you're going to go, thanks, Sandra, but no thanks. And then you're going to get overwhelmed and you're not going to post at all. So my advice is this: you start twice a week. You build that momentum, right? Once you start getting a bit of an idea and a bit more confident with posting, and you start getting a bit of a flow, and okay, these are the posts that are working well and these aren't working so well, you'll start to feel a lot more, I guess, relaxed about it, and you will want to post more often. Okay, on a Monday you can do something motivational. On a Tuesday you can share a testimonial from a happy client. On a Wednesday you can do a tip of the week. On a Thursday you can do a staff spotlight or a product spotlight or a client spotlight, or you can do did you know series, where you ask people, did you know that blah 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 blah, did you know that, right? And then you could do Friday like a feel good post, something motivation or something that's a feel good. That's 5 posts right there, right? And they're different every week. You can do something that's a little bit different. So it's not hard to post. It's just about getting into the rhythm, getting into the momentum. It's like anything, right? I always use the example exercise. How hard is it to get back into exercise when you've had time off or you haven't been doing it consistently? But what happens when you're back into it? You're like, yeah, I feel good. I like this. I like the results that I'm getting. I want to do more of it. So that's why I say, let's start with the minimum of 2 times a week. Why? Quality over quantity. Let's do Tuesday and Thursday to start with, and then you do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then you can do Monday. So ideally, my ideal sweet spot for social posting is about 3 to 4 times a week. So I'm not saying 7. I think 3 is that nice sweet spot where it's every second day you post something, right? And it's not a lack of resources, because there is more resources out there than ever before. It's a lack of resourcefulness. So we need to go, okay, where are the resources? Answer the public, Google alerts, X, Y, and Z. There's so many resources out there. It's about now being resourceful and generating the content that we know is going to appeal to our client. Okay, so minimum of 2 times a week, maximum of 7 times a week. Stories, like I mentioned before, are really big. So stories on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, they last for 24 hours. You can take stories beforehand and keep them in your phone and just upload them whenever you like. And it doesn't have to be a video, it can be like a static photo. All right, so it's a bit, I'll show you how to do it, but stories can only be done through your phone, not on desktop for Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So that's something to remember as well. Best times, so these are the best times based on statistics. I actually did this, I Googled this very recently just to make sure, because it does always change. But the best times to post on Facebook are Wednesday at 11 a.m. and 1 to 2 p.m. Wednesday is the best day to post on Facebook. The safest times to post are weekdays from 9 to 3. Sundays have the least engagement. Now, this is very dependent on your industry, on your clients, and on your connections, right? Because you can have clients in America and this is not applicable at all. So my advice is test, trial and measure. This is statistics from Facebook, which I actually found quite interesting, because to me I thought mornings and evenings are the best, but this is what they've come back with. So I would test, trial and measure. The beautiful thing about social media is we're given insights now, so we can see, hey, this isn't when people are on, or hey, this is when people are on. So this is why it's important. Test, trial, measure. Test, trial, measure. It's like everything in life. You can't just do it and expect miracles. We've got to stay on top of it. We've got to see what's working, what's not working, what can we tweak, and all the rest. Best times to post on Instagram. Generally, the best times is a lunchtime, 11 to 1, and evening, 7 to 9 p.m. Okay, and best times to post on LinkedIn, well, Wednesdays from 8 till 10 and noon, Thursdays at 9 a.m. and 1 to 2 p.m. and Fridays at 9 a.m. Best days are Wednesdays and Thursdays, worst days are Sundays. Once again, I'm not saying don't ever post on a Sunday, because there are more and more people now on LinkedIn on the weekends than before, right? If we went back, say, I don't know, even a year ago, LinkedIn wasn't as highly used as a social network. It was more of like a business development network, which it still very much is, but I find more and more people are engaging on the weekends now, whereas before it was probably just more of just a work hour kind of platform. So that's definitely changing as well. These are some of that trending hashtags, right? Now, what are hashtags? People go, Sandra, what's a hashtag? What's the importance of a hashtag? On Instagram and LinkedIn, hashtags are important. On Facebook, they're really not important, okay? People don't search for hashtags on Facebook. They search for people, they search for businesses, they don't search or follow hashtags. Whereas on LinkedIn and Facebook, people actually follow a hashtag. So, for example, let's say I'm following the hashtag real estate. Anyone that puts the hashtag real estate in one of their posts is likely to pop up in my newsfeed, even if I'm not connected with them, even if I'm not following them, right? So my advice when it comes to hashtags is use them in Instagram and LinkedIn. 50% of the hashtags that you're using need to be relevant to your post. Hashtag social media, hashtag marketing advice, hashtag whatever. And the other 50% need to be relevant to what your target market is following. Now, your target market might not be following social media, but let's say your target market is business owners. You would write hashtag business owners. So you've got to almost tap into your client avatar and think, geez, I wonder what hashtags they're following, right? And by knowing or I guess researching what are the trending hashtags, you'll be able to put those hashtags into your content, and then you will pop up on people's newsfeed, even if they're not directly following you or your business. Okay, so these are some trending ones. Love, this is for Instagram, love, Insta good, photo of the day, fashion, beautiful, happy, cute, TBT, which stands for Throwback Thursday, like for like, follow me. Now you can see at the bottom here, I've got a source. It's influencermarketinghub.com, most popular Instagram hashtag. So you can click on that link when I send you the slides, and you can get an idea in terms of more hashtags. I've got a question here. Right, let me see whose question. How many hashtags are appropriate for a LinkedIn post? I've heard that they only look at the first 3. Thank you. No, so I use about 5 to 10. They don't just look at the first 3, between 5 to 10. I think anything over 10 is too much. I think 1 is too little. I use usually I have 3 hashtags that I use in LinkedIn, and in Instagram you can have up to 30 hashtags. Another thing with hashtags on Instagram is that you put them in your comments section, right? So you don't actually put it in your caption, you put it in your comment section, so it doesn't look as messy, if that makes sense. So that's really But yeah,
Thank you.
good question. Not a problem at all. Okay. And then we've got, these are some trending hashtags on LinkedIn. So innovation is number one. It's got 37 million followers. So this actually shows you how many followers of each one, and this goes up by the day. So 37 million on innovation, management, digital marketing, technology, entrepreneurship. So my advice is definitely use some of the top trending ones, right, as in your posts, and then a few other ones that are going to be relevant to the actual post. If you're doing a post on, you know, importance of CFO, you would write CFO, marketing, or not marketing, business, whatever, right? So very, very important that you do utilize at least a couple of these trending hashtags. This is for LinkedIn. Instagram is different. Instagram is a bit more love and fashion and pretty and stuff like that, whereas LinkedIn is a bit more entrepreneurship, technology, innovation. So a bit of a different mix there. Other things to be considering for your business. Are you doing Google Ads? Are you blogging? Are you looking at SEO? Are you sending out a newsletter once every 2 to 4 weeks? Vlogs, video blogs. Are you using YouTube? Right? So these are some things. Now, I always speak to my clients, and like I mentioned before, you know, I've got my own business, Savvy Creations PR. I've coached thousands of clients. I've worked with big companies, small companies, and I've always asked people this question, right? It doesn't matter how big or small the company is. I always ask them this one question: how do you get leads for your business? Right? I'm always interested for two reasons: A, market research, and B, it helps me understand their business. So I say to them, how do you get leads for your business? And till this day, the most important way, or the most popular way that people get leads for their business is actually still, funnily enough, referrals, right? So but referrals, you know, word of mouth, which is great. But this is the psychology that this is what's happening today. So John Smith might get referred to Gina, right? John Smith asks his friend Jack, Gina, oh, I need someone that helps me with this art thing. And he says, go see Gina. Now, what John Smith will do, he is going to check you out online beforehand. All right. So not always, but a lot of the time. So even though we think, oh, we're getting all these referrals and most of my clients are from referrals, yes, they are, but they also check you out. So did you know if you go into Google now and you type in your name, the top 2 things that are going to pop up is your LinkedIn profile and your Facebook profile. Right? So imagine someone's Googling your name or your business and it's not up to the standard that they want. What's going to happen? They're going to walk away. So social media, as much as people go, oh, I don't need social media. I get all my business from word of mouth. Yeah, but you know what? You don't know how much of that word of mouth is actually going to check you out on social media before they've actually come to you. Right? So think about ourselves. If we go to a restaurant, if we go to a hotel, if we go to meet with someone, a lot of the time we actually Google them beforehand. So this is why it is important that we do keep everything up to the standard of our business. So going back to my statement before, saying, you know, I've coached lots of people, I've identified 7 ways, 7 funnels, 7 things you need to be doing on an ongoing basis for your business to keep ticking over and to keep generating leads. Because you're not just going to get leads just always from referrals. Even though that might be your number 1 funnel, we've still got other funnels that are working. So I'll give you an example. For me, I would say 50% of my leads are referrals, 30% of my leads are social media, and 20% of my leads are Google. Right? So that's kind of what I've identified. They're my leads. So I'll go through the 7 funnels. Number 1, and not in no particular order, but number 1 is social media, right? We're talking about social media today. So my advice is choose 3 platforms and do them properly. Start posting minimum of 2 times a week on each platform. Start creating yourself as the authority. Start creating your tone of voice. Start engaging with your customers. Social media. 2 is Google. When I type in your business, where are you on Google? Because they don't call it second page suicide for no reason. If you're not on page 1 of Google for your business, you're not on Google, right? I can't see you guys, but I'm sure you're agreeing with me and nodding your head. When we're Googling something, other than when we're at uni, I don't go past page 1. I want it now. So what we need to work on is getting your business onto page 1 of Google for your keywords, right? So if you go onto Google now or whenever and you type in PR Perth or public relations Perth, I come up number 1, right? And that's not by accident, that's SEO. So I get people coming to me through Google. So this is what we need to identify. What keywords are people searching for? So we've got social, we've got Google, okay? The two ways you can be on page 1 of Google is Google Ads or search engine optimization. Now, I'm not going to get into too much detail with those because it's another, but 2 ways are Google Ads or SEO. The third one is your strategic alliances. Start connecting with people that can become your strategic alliances. A lot of my work comes from my strategic alliances, web developers, other marketing agencies that don't do what I do, and vice versa. So align yourself with other businesses that share a similar clientele, but don't offer the same services or products, right? Really, really important. It's about creating that collaborative partnership with people. So we've got social media, we've got Google, we've got strategic alliances, we've got publicity, so PR. Is there any opportunity for you to get into the media? Have you done something amazing? Is something amazing coming? Do you have a service that no one else does, right? So there's a great opportunity for you to reach out to the media and have some write-ups, and then people will see you in the paper and go, wow, fantastic. And that is also very much authority building, right? By you having publicity or PR around your business, you're building your authority, okay? So we've got social, we've got Google, we've got strategic alliances, we've got PR, we've got advertising is the next one. So social media advertising or radio or TV. I think social is the best one now because you can do it. Then you've got referrals, right? And the last one is business development. So what are you doing to actually get out there and develop your business? Because people aren't just going to constantly come knocking on your door. You need to get out there. Are you a part of a networking group? Are you sending out follow-up emails to people? Are you connecting with people on LinkedIn? What I do now almost every week is I connect with, say, 20, 30 people on LinkedIn, and I do a follow-up message. Hi, lovely to connect with you. My name is Sandra. This is who I am. This is what I do. If you ever need assistance, please let me know. No hard sell, just a nice introduction. You can do that on Facebook. Sorry, you can do that on Instagram. You can do it on LinkedIn. So it's a really nice way of doing some BD. So my advice to you as a business owner, yes, social media is very important. It's one part of that pie, but we need to understand business is an ongoing cycle. It's not just social, it's not just Google, it's not just referrals. We have to be on top of it, right? So out of those 7 funnels, social, Google, PR, strategic alliances, business development, advertising, and referrals, right? You need to be on at least 4 of those on an ongoing basis. It's like a little mouse in that round wheel. Always, constantly. So if you're not getting a lead from social media today, you're getting it from a referral. If it's not from a referral, it's from Google. If it's not from Google, it's from your strategic alliance and all the rest, right? So it's like a wheel of business. And then you'll notice you'll just go faster and faster, and you'll start generating more and more business, right? So that's my 7 funnels that I always use to clients. And obviously social is a very important one. That's something that I teach a lot. I'm going to quickly go now because we've got 10 minutes left. So I'm going to stop this share, and then I'm going to show you my LinkedIn to give you guys a bit of an idea. Instagram's a bit hard because it's on my phone, and it's going to be hard for me to show you on my phone, but I'll go into my Facebook and my LinkedIn to show you guys. God, it now goes quickly. All right, so oh, sorry, Gina, can you narrow that hashtag? Let me have a look. Can you narrow that hashtag query down to specific to your market or just the most popular in general? Gina, thanks for that question. So you can definitely narrow it down, but you won't exactly know, like you won't know it's just lawyers following these hashtags. You know what I mean? So it's doing a little bit of research. It's more of a time thing where you actually analyze it as you go. So you can't actually, you can definitely go into Google and type in most popular hashtags that lawyers are following, right? You can do that, but it'll probably be like law advice, commercial, stuff like that. So it's kind of like, I think that's probably the only way, but there's no actual function in LinkedIn or Instagram where it's going to say, this is what your target market is following. Okay. So I'll quickly jump onto here. I'm going to share my screen with you. We probably won't get, let me have a look, share screen. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly show you LinkedIn, right? So I'm assuming most of you do have a LinkedIn profile. So just a few things to do on your LinkedIn profiles, guys. So one thing is do a nice cover photo. As you can see here, I've got a lovely cover photo. This is free real estate for your business. Why not leverage it, right? It's free real estate for your business. So put your logo in there, put some photos in there that are representative of your business. I've got a profile picture, Sandra Tricoli, Managing Director, Savvy Creations PR, helping businesses grow their digital footprint. You've got your about section, you've got your photos, right, experience and all the rest. But I'll show you some of my posts to give you an idea in terms of what posts work well, right? So I'm going to click on to see all posts. And like I said, if you guys need any more one-on-one help or assistance, I'm here to help. Okay, so I did this post yesterday. I said, last night I had the pleasure of interviewing some of Perth's leading property experts about the forecast for Perth's property market at Western Suburbs Business Association annual dinner. A big thank you to the night sponsor, Paul Blackburn, and to all the panelists for their great insights. So I did this post, had a nice bright purple outfit there, and so far it's had 52 likes and 3,000 views, right? So 3,000 views in less than 24 hours. So that's one post I did. Now, another one was this one. I'm very proud to share that I'm now officially on the 10 times 10 philanthropy, blah, blah, blah. Okay, scroll down, 70 likes, 2,700 views. And when you click on the views, right, it shows you where people are actually viewing you from. So it's got people from Curtin, I've had 8 people from Rio Tinto, I've had 8 people from Westpac and all the rest. So when you actually click on your views, it actually breaks it down. Right, so you feel free to have a bit of a stalkeroo of my LinkedIn and have a look at the posts that I do. It will give you a bit of an idea. My best performing post of all time had 350,000 views. 350,000 views, and it had about 4,000 likes. So I don't know if I can find it. It was a few months ago. Okay, so you can see here, this was created in Canva. Today is Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's tip of the week. Today I'm going to share with you how to brand yourself on LinkedIn to attract the right connections and clients. Right, so that was just a Tuesday tip with Sandra Tricoli. Just be you. It's about being authentic. Right, this was a testimonial. Right, so you can see I'm sharing a bit of personal stuff. This is me talking at an event. This is me at an event. So you can see there's a lot of myself in there about positioning myself as the authority. Very, very important. The more you can position yourself as the go-to person in your industry, the more people will come to you for advice on that industry. Okay. So have a look at that, and I'll quickly jump onto Facebook because Facebook has changed a lot. They've changed the look and feel of Facebook, and I know obviously we won't have time today to get into the world of Facebook because it's a whole new world of its own. But here on the left-hand corner, we've got pages. You can see I've got quite a few pages that I manage for clients. So I'll click on my own, Savvy Creations. Okay, so some of the important things to have basically is on your left-hand side here, you've got inbox, events, resources, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you filled everything out here. Make sure all these things are filled out. And another thing I want to just mention, because I know we're getting close to 10 o'clock. In terms of content, can you reshare the same post on all 3 platforms? Some yes, some no. All right, so you kind of got to know what, you know, we know that Instagram is a lot more pretty and it's a lot more beautiful and it's a lot more kind of, you know, colorful, and it's not too corporate, right? Whereas LinkedIn is a bit more corporate. So for example, the event that I did last night with the Perth property, not last night, sorry, it was the night before, with the Western Suburbs, that was actually quite applicable to all 3 platforms. Okay, it was a property dinner, I was talking, I was emceeing, and I thought this is nice for all 3 platforms. So I posted it on Facebook as well. Okay. So you can see here, and I've posted a bit more photos, and that's had 162 people and 17 people have liked it. So already on LinkedIn, I can see the algorithm is a lot higher. People can see it, but it still had pretty good engagement, pretty good reach, and I've had about 18 people like the post, okay? And similar on Instagram, I did the same thing, and that had about 40, 50 likes. So it just depends where, you know, for me, LinkedIn is obviously where I've positioned myself the most, and that's where I spend most of my time. So wherever you put your effort in, effort comes back. But yeah, that gives you a bit of an idea. So look, we are running out of time. We've got 2 minutes left. I know today was very much about, you know, engaging with your customers and that. So we do have a few minutes for some Q&A. Does anyone have any questions? don't know if I can unmute you guys. Let me have a look. Okay, I really love the info. Thanks, Sandra. You're welcome. You're welcome. Look, I know, like I said, I think one of my biggest problems is being able to squeeze in, because I want to be able to coach and teach you guys everything I've learned over the last, 5 years. But, in the 60 minutes that we got today, I just really wanted to give you a bit of a snippet, give you some little tips and tools and tricks that you can utilize. And if you do need that further assistance, you can definitely book in to see me as well. But yeah, I think that's probably, that brings us to the end of today's presentation. So if you've got any questions, or you feel like you've got any questions, feel free to email me. If in a few hours you go, oh my God, I should have asked her this, feel free to send me an email. My email is info@savvycreations.com.au. I will also be sending you the slides, maybe not today because I've got a few meetings today, but definitely in the next day or so, with the slides. And yeah, we can just kind of go from there. So Pierre, did you find that insightful?
Yeah, thank you. That was really good. I enjoyed it. That was it's interesting to see the differences and see all the places you can find more information, which I never knew about. So that was good. Thank you.
And like I said before at the beginning, I could literally spend 4 hours talking about LinkedIn, 4 hours talking about Instagram, and 4 hours talking about Facebook. But unfortunately, we don't have 12 hours today. So really love the info. Appreciate your time. Have a great weekend. Chocolate and wine, perhaps. Thanks, Gina. I would definitely be having chocolate and wine tonight. So look, there's constantly resources out there, Pierre, and there's so many, and it's constantly changing all the time. So it's important to stay on top of it, and it's important to do these workshops and seminars and that, because you do want to stay on top of it. Even though your industry may not be marketing per se, it's still important to have at least the basic level of info where you can get, good content for your socials.
Yeah, that answer the, answer
the public. Yeah, it's a good one, isn't it?
That's pretty cool. I like that. There's a,
it makes you realize
I've done my 2 searches for the day, so I'll do another one tomorrow.
Awesome. Well, look, thank you guys so much for joining me, and you all have a lovely weekend. And I hope you, hope you've been able to learn a thing or two. And if you've got any questions, feel free to email me, add me on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, and we can just go from there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Thanks so much, Sandra.
Thank you so much. Bye.